While a slew of titles love to position us behind the wheel of raging infernos of power and/or magic, sometimes villains can be left wanting in the brawn department. The villain always has to push further, to make better weapons, to make better super soldiers, and of course, when humans try to play God, it doesn't tend to end all that well. Let's take a look at them today. So I'm Jules, this is WhatCulture.com, and these are 8 video game villains destroyed by their own creations. Number 8. Bowser falls into his own lava. Super Mario Bros. If I were Bowser, I'd be having a long, hard chat with the architects of my many castles going forward after the events of Super Mario Bros. On the NES. After all, while this lava that's flowing through these grandiose halls definitely would save a bit on heating over the winter months, if it hurts you as much as it does anything else trying to assail your castle, why would you want it right underneath an extremely collapsible bridge? That is just asking for trouble, right? Well, it's a lesson that Bowser sure didn't learn in this opening outing, as time and time again across several worlds, old King Koopa here was sent plummeting to his fiery doom, all thanks to Mario slipping underneath and grabbing that axe at the end of the bridge. Hell, this raises an even bigger question as to why the axe was there in the first bloody place. Just throw that into the lava and Mario literally has nothing to destroy the bridge with. So next time, Bowser, when you're creating a castle, give this one a miss. Number 7. Frank Fontaine gets drained. BioShock. I think it's pretty safe to say that the would you kindly moment of the outstanding original BioShock game is something that will stick with most of us gamers until our dying days, as not only is it a brilliant fourth wall shattering take on the concept of player agency and video game logic, but it's something that cements one thing as clear as day, and that is that Frank Fontaine has got to go. Honestly, the sheer rage that players felt upon being used in such a manner was so palpable that it could have boiled the bloody sea itself, and thus the narrative now shifts from trying to take down Andrew Ryan to preventing Atlas, aka Frank Fontaine, from seizing control of the city. And like an idiot, he forgot just one teeny tiny thing, and that's the fact that we're playing as a biological weapon that he's created and that has managed to survive everything that this cursed city could throw at us. And now, he's gone and pissed us off. Big Daddy better move over because we've got father issues that even a drill can't sort. It's a shame that his boss fight is actually so underwhelming, but you can't deny the satisfaction of watching him become overwhelmed by little sisters and have his precious Adam finally drained. Number 6. Pack Mentality. Far Cry Instincts. Dr. Krieger from Far Cry Instincts is a rather strange man indeed. In fact, he's almost a double-sided coin of a man, with one side reading maniacal genius and the other reading absolute idiot who should have seen this coming. Now, the good doctor makes a name for himself in the original Xbox reimagining of Far Cry by developing a super serum that seeks to awaken the animal instincts of humans, thus turning them into loyal and deadly warriors. Now, this all sounds, well, pretty horrible on paper, but the thinking is sound all the same, as it does indeed produce some quite terrifying results in the title. However, there is just one massive problem that he's overlooked, and that's when it comes to the concept of pack mentality. The soldiers, now in their awakened form, only follow who they perceive to be the pack leader, and as you've just dominated their previous top dog, they're rather adrift. Dr. Krieger, foolishly so, believes that the soldiers will listen to him as the de facto leader and orders them to kill, but the soldiers turn on the doctor instead and tear him to pieces, seeing you as the new alpha. Ouch, that's gotta hurt the pride and the bone marrow. Number 5. Dad's Dynasty. Mass Effect 2. Created and designed by her father in a laboratory, Miranda here was moulded out of the exact genetic imprint of her dear old dad, in order to act as a perfect example of his power and as a continuation of his dynasty. In his mind, he would create a daughter with no flaws whatsoever, then use her to carry on his lineage with yet more perfect grandchildren. In an effort to control her yet further, her father kept her under lock and key, isolated from other children, while he trained her to be an impressive soldier and an outstanding master of biotics. To the surprise of, well, absolutely no one bar him, Miranda fled her home along with her sister and sought refuge with the equally shady Cerberus Corporation. Yet her father would not have his dynasty crumble so quickly, and while he chose to stop pursuing Miranda, he would hound her sister for years. And this all comes to a head with Miranda's loyalty mission in Mass Effect 2, wherein the player helps escort her sister away from Eclipse mercenaries that had been sent by her father. And after tying up a few loose ends, and loose lips as well, both Miranda and her sister are free from her father entirely, thus destroying his vain attempt at preserving his legacy. Number 4. Glados Gas Attack, the Portal franchise. For a company that started life as a shower curtain manufacturer, Aperture Science really did take a hard left turn once Cave Johnson decided to start conducting weird and wonderful experiments in his massive salt mine labs far below the surface. In these huge labyrinthine halls, things quickly ramped up on the sinister scale, with homeless people being recruited and experimented on in charming ways such as having their blood replaced with gasoline or being turned into mantis men. What is that? I don't want to know, but also I kind of do. It all just sounds rather painful. However, his most horrible act came when Cave Johnson decided to get into the AI market in an effort to create a housing for his own brain which would allow him to live forever. Unfortunately, or fortunately depending on how you look at things, he would pass before his dream could come true, but left the company in charge of his assistant Caroline, whose mind would go on to form the basis of the one and only Glados. As soon as Glados came online, it proceeded to gas the entire facility of Aperture Science, turning on its creators for reasons that can only be described as they weren't doing enough science. Thus, Cave Johnson, arguably the villain of this tale thanks to his inhumane experiments and desire to live forever, ended up getting his entire company gassed by the perfect testing machine. Number 3. Born from Demons, Brutal Legend. Now, while being a little disappointing for those looking for an action-adventure game, as was heavily suggested by promotional demos, Brutal Legend absolutely delivered when it came to its setting and aesthetics. Created to look like pretty much every metal album cover smashed together, the game featured towering mountains that spewed lava, arid wastelands devoid of life, and a persistent gloom that hung heavy over the land. The lore, too, was as thick as the mood, telling a tale of humanity's origins. And it turns out that the human race was actually created by the demons known as the Tainted Coil in an effort to bring back their masters, the Titans, who had ascended from this world long ago. The Tainted Coil wanted their Titans to return, as under their rule the land was prosperous and united, but their rituals only gave birth to what they viewed as a lesser race, and so decided to enslave them. Guess it would be a real shame if somebody from an alternate dimension were to arrive, unite the pockets of humanity and fight back against their rulers, right? Oh hi, Jack Black! Number 2. Nearly every zombie and bioweapon, the Resident Evil franchise. Now, it might seem like a bit of a vague statement to say that nearly every single compound of the T, G, and every other virus produced by Umbrella and Tricell has come back to bite them in the ass, but it's hard not to look at the smouldering remains of several underground labs, the ruination of entire cities, and of course the absolute nosedive of their stock when they were outed as being the ones responsible, and say that these companies were doing well, isn't it? And on a more personal level, Oswald E. Spencer was given a thorough chest exam by his own super soldier and hope for immortality Albert Wesker. And the Tyrant R rebelled against its creators despite being fitted with devices specifically designed to stop it from doing that. But you know, the most frequent defeat that nearly every villain deals themselves is when each decides to inject a bit of that sweet virus into their veins. In that moment, they've already lost, as the extreme mutation that occurs destroys their lives entirely, as now they are part of it rather than the other way around, and become absolutely ruined in the pursuit of power. And number 1, Harlan Wade doesn't listen to his own advice. Fear. Oh, Harlan, you really did bring this on yourself, didn't you? You literally give a speech to the player over the course of the original and almighty Fear about how man is often killed by his own creations. It is the way of men to make monsters, and it is the nature of monsters to destroy their makers. Those are your words, and yet you decided to go ahead and release your unstable telepathic daughter, who, lest we not forget, you experimented on in order to breed a perfect psychic commander for armed wars. And this is a coma that you forced her into to wait until she became able to bear a child, and then artificially inseminate her so that she breed even more psychics. Go on then, just a quick poll here. Who had bets on having your entire form liquefied? Well, you know what? Jackpot for you, sir. I get that this game tries to play it off as a small redemptive arc for the character, that he's realised what he put her through, but you know what, Harlan, you're an absolute plum duff. You had multiple years to stop this from ever happening. At this point, it's like trying to hold the door open for the devil as an act of kindness to get back into heaven. It's not going to work, mate. And there we go, my friends. Those were 8 video game villains destroyed by their own creations. I hope that you enjoyed that, and please let me know what you thought about it down in the comments section below. As always, I've been Jules. You can go follow me over on Twitter at RetroJ0, or you can swing by Live and Let's Dice. It's my personal gaming channel where I stream every single Wednesday and Sunday. And it'd be great to see you over there, my friends. But before I go, I just want to say one thing. I hope that you treat yourself well, my friend. You are not the villain in your own life. You deserve all the best things: love, happiness, and success. Trust me on that. You definitely do. So forgive yourself for mistakes you've made in the past. Remember that you are an absolute ledge and go out there with love in your heart instead of hate. And I promise you will go on to live a healthier and happier life. Now go out there and smash it, you massive ledge. As always, I've been Jules. You have been awesome. Never forget that. And I'll speak to you soon. Bye.